Welcome back to Morning Markets on Wednesday the 7th of December. Two aspects to discuss today, the first being the Reserve Bank of Australia, which raised interest rates for the 8th time this year. Interest rates were increased by 0.25% to a level of 3.1%, which is a level which we haven't seen for a decade now, but was lower than the 0.5% increase which many analysts were expecting. So why are we looking at Australian policy? Well, it's important because Australia was one of the first developed markets to start raising interest rates in 2022 and have done so aggressively, which has warranted a lot of attention from the markets. For context, interest rates have increased by 3% since the start of the year, which is the fastest monetary policy tightening cycle since 1989. At this point, the expectation is we could see another 0.5% worth of interest rate hikes through 2023, taking rates to 3.6%. But if the December decision is anything to go by, we are seeing a slowing in the pace of interest rate hikes, which was well digested by markets. What are we expecting as we look forward? Well, the Governor of the Reserve Bank of Australia, Philip Lowe, noted that they'll be vigilant on incoming data and the impact which that has on their forward-looking expectations, which is a similar tone to the one which was struck by Jerome Powell of the US Federal Reserve in his speech last week. An important input for Australia will be the wage growth data which they receive through the first quarter of next year. But they did make clear that the increase will help to achieve a more sustainable balance of demand and supply in the Australian economy, which is necessary to bring inflation back down towards target levels. Target levels are 2 to 3%. Inflation is currently running at levels of 6.9%. The second aspect of importance is the pathway of Chinese and international economic growth and inflation. Overnight, Chinese State Council have announced further relaxations of the zero COVID policy which has been in place, allowing those with mild or asymptomatic cases of COVID to isolate at home rather than at a centralised quarantine facility, which builds on the developments of no longer having to show proof of negative tests before entering public places, which has been announced more recently. The change in tone coincides with evidence of the pressures which are building within China on their economic growth. Data released overnight shows exports fell 8.7% year on year in the month of November. Whilst the policy does remain restrictive, if we compare that to what we have here in the UK, it's a development in allowing greater levels of activity in China, which is supportive for global supply levels, with China being one of the key manufacturing hubs in the world. Thank you very much for watching. We look forward to bringing you up to date tomorrow here on Morning Markets.
If you're interested in taking your investing to the next level, or would like to know more about the options available to you when you retire, then download our free guides to ISAs and pensions. These are available in the video description below.